Alright, so today we're going to be talking about all of the S-Class heroes and who I feel are the best disciples for them, as well as who I think might legitimately become a disciple for them in the future of the story. And this video was made possible by my overpowered, awesome patron, Paxton D. Paxton, thank you for your continued long-time support. I can't thank you enough, and I hope this video is good enough for what you wanted. So first out, we got PURI Prisoner, and for him I chose Strange Binding Shell. So it's probably unlikely that this pair will happen, but I do think that Strange Binding Shell is probably the best candidate to work with PURI Prisoner because, you know, Strange Binding Shell's whole style is around like BDSM ropes and tying up and stuff, and that kind of fits in with the theme of PURI Prisoner because they're both, you know, kind of in that wheelhouse. Now, PURI Prisoner, I guess, could teach him, like, the secrets of the angel style and maybe put some muscle on him, but that's about it. And maybe send him to, like, A-Class. Next, Tanktop Master. So, Tanktop Master already has disciples in the Tanktop army, and they aren't really particularly too powerful, so his training and whatnot isn't probably that effective. So, just for now, I chose Red Muffler because, you know, why not? And he kind of looks like Tanktop Master and could just use a buff because, you know, he's like a cool character that doesn't really get too much spotlight. And I suppose the Tank Top Master would probably just give him a tank top, tell him to eat some protein and lift some weights. And that's about it. And maybe train him a little bit and maybe send Red Muff to like, maybe A-Class, maybe B-Class, somewhere around there. Metal Bat. Now, Metal Bat isn't the one to really teach because he's hardly even understands what's going on with his own style, but we'll get into that. But I chose Needle Star for him because him and Needle Star are very similar. They both have the Bancho archetype and they're both reliant on a weapon-based style. Now, at first, they would definitely butt heads and probably not get along, but as time went on, they would probably get along after they took down a monster or just started to get to know each other better or something like that, you know, considering that they both have similar demeanors and both have the weapon-based style. Now, he wouldn't be able to teach Needle Star, you know, any skills or anything, but I think he would improve Needle Star through sparring with him. Also, Metal Bat not being able to like really teach people is explored in the audiobook Sharanko's Training. When Sharanko goes to train with Metal Bat, and Metal Bat just reveals that he doesn't even really know what he's doing himself, and he's kind of just swinging aimlessly and kind of just getting by on his fighting spirit ability. So next up, GENOS. So GENOS probably isn't going to be teaching anyone either, considering that he is the one who is taught usually. But for now, I chose Jet Niceguy because, you know, he is a cyborg just like GENOS, and if anybody is going to teach a cyborg a style to enhance their own, it would probably be GENOS, because he is the strongest one that we currently know of. Now, what could he teach Jet Niceguy? Well, just, you know, how to be a better cyborg, how to have that better fighting style incorporated, how to use his weapons, how to move better. Now, giving him upgrades is really debatable, like if he's going to get Kuseno to upgrade him at all. I don't think that's probably going to happen, but he could definitely improve Jet Niceguy's overall style and maybe bump him up to like A-Class or something like that. Flashy Flash. So this one I think might actually happen, and that is him having the disciple of Shadow Ring because she is a ninja within the association. She's already A-Class, and Flashy Flash has been made aware of her, and it was also implied that he didn't even know that female ninjas existed before that point. Now, no spoilers, but I'll just say that Flashy Flash is definitely the one to want to train others that he sees potential in. So if he were to train Shadow Ring, depending on if she would be able to become as fast as he needs her to be, like maybe reaching Sonic's level of speed, she would definitely go to S-Class, you know, because she's already A-Class. Watchdog Man. So this one was difficult because Watchdog Man is just a difficult character to analyze. He's very mysterious, hardly ever speaks, and we don't really know what's going on with him. And he has a style that is debatably can even be taught. You know, I mean, Garo did pick it up, so maybe it can be learned. But, you know, Garo learning is a whole different thing. But I chose Double Hole for him because Double Hole shares a similar demeanor to him. They both rarely speak, and they both don't really show emotions all that much. So they would probably get along. And like I said, Watchdog Man could probably teach him his dog beast style, something like that. Would just help Double Hole, and maybe just him sparring with him would increase Double Hole's potential, because I do think Double Hole has a chance of becoming S-Class in the future of the story. I don't think he's as guaranteed as the other characters that I'm going to be talking about, but I do think that he'll go as high as like high A-Class in the future. Superalloy DARKSHINE. So this one's pretty obvious, I think, and I think this will happen. And that is him taking under MIZUKI as a disciple, because, you know, they are similar. They're both big and buff. MIZUKI is more so on the snoo side. But DARKSHINE showed interest in her. And other than just like working out and stuff like that, he could show her some techniques that he knows. Now, if she can somehow learn the durability that DARKSHINE has, that's really up for debate, because it's kind of implied that that's like an inherent thing that DARKSHINE has. Although I hope that the manga explores more into this, and maybe it is something that can be learned. But either way, I think he can train MIZUKI to S-Class, which I think she inevitably will be in the future of the story. Pig God. So this is one that I also think is probably going to happen, and that is him taking under Food Battler as a disciple, because Food Battler kind of has a similar ability to Pig God, although it's not as outrageous, because it was revealed that Food Battler has like this crazy fast metabolism to where he has to keep eating or he's just going to rapidly lose weight. So maybe that's something that Pig God has, because we know that Food Battler, his abilities hasn't been explored as much as Pig God's, because we don't know like he has regeneration and crazy durability the way the Pig God is, but Pig God maybe can teach him how to eat more and just eat monsters, because considering that Food Battler has the metabolism that he has, I'm sure that he can eat a whole monster if trained enough and then instantly digest it the way that Pig God does. My mask. So I'm putting him here in place of Drive Knight, because I don't think Drive Knight would probably train anyone, and considering that I already put Jet NICEGUY with GENOS, I'm just going to swap out Drive Knight for My Mask, who we all pretty much consider to be S-Class anyway. And this might actually happen too, because I see that My Mask saw potential in Feather. Like, Feather drew his attention and actually got a compliment out of My Mask. So this might be showing that in the future, maybe My Mask takes him under his wing or something like that. And rather than just giving him like idle training, maybe he trains him in the martial arts that My Mask knows and teaches him how to get stronger and faster. And considering that Feather is already A-Class, he might go to S-Class. Maybe, you know, of course, if My Mask allows him to. But I don't think Feather is on that trajectory. Maybe he'll just go at like a high A-Class in the future. So for Zombieman, I chose Poison, because Poison has a similar demeanor to Zombieman, at least in my opinion, and they both excel in close quarters combat, or just relying on it, especially when Zombieman isn't like firing off his guns or anything. He can also show Poison more weapons and how to be more versatile with it, because he's kind of relying on his like knife at this moment, which probably will only take him so far. And we saw that Zombieman has a whole array of different weapons, especially bladed ones. So maybe he can work that into Poison's arsenal. And considering that they would probably get along, they would probably be able to help each other, or at least Zombieman would just boost Poison's skills overall and maybe get him up to like A-Class or something. So King obviously can't teach anyone anything, and if he was put in this position of having a disciple, he would just BS them the whole time. So I chose MUMEN Rider here because, you know, why not? Because MUMEN Rider, just listening to King's BS, would probably get like a placebo power-up from this. But other than that, it would probably just keep him in the same place that he is, because MUMEN Rider doesn't want to move up to B-Class. He just wants to stay C-Class. So nothing would really change, so I think this is like a perfect fitting for the two. So now for Metal Knight, I also think he falls into that category of heroes who wouldn't really want to train anyone. I mean, the only real known like kind of thing that we have even close to this is him having Child Emperor as an assistant, and an assistant is much different than a disciple. And also, Child Emperor has, you know, crazy intelligence, and he probably saw a lot of potential in him. So, Metal Knight, if he was just forced to, we'll say, even though it's really debatable even if he would even care, I just put Battery Man here, because Battery Man has, like, a technologically based style, and maybe he would just use Battery Man as, like, a guinea pig to try out some of his new weapons or something and see how far they can go. And depending on how powerful of the upgrades that he gives the Battery Man, it could send them all the way to, like, I don't know, like low S-Class maybe. So Child Emperor. Child Emperor is another difficult one to guess, like who his disciple would be. And I chose Pico. So we don't really see Pico that much. He is the former pro gamer who is a part of the Fubuki group. So he's a B-Class hero, so he's not exactly like completely weak, but given that he has the gamer style and he was good enough to be a pro, he probably has a similar analytical approach to combat the way that Child Emperor does. So maybe they would get along in that capacity. And then maybe Child Emperor could give Pico some kind of weapons that would aid him in his, you know, like video game-based style, like he can control it in that manner. Maybe he can go to like A-Class or something like that. Silver Fang. So this one is might be actually happening in the future of the story, like him taking under Suiryu. No spoilers, but depending on how the story plays out for Silver Fang, he might take Suiryu under his wing, and then Suiryu would just, the sky's the limit for him, honestly, because he's already S-class level, so I'm sure Silver Fang could probably train him into that category of like top 5 S-class, because this would also fill the gap in Silver Fang's soul that Garo left. You know, and Suiryu obviously isn't a psychopath the way that Garo is, so I think these two would work together well. And then Tatsumaki. So obviously she's falling into that category of heroes who probably don't want to train anyone, so it would really be unlikely for her to do that. But just given for the video, we'll say that GEARSPER would definitely be her best option for a disciple. You know, also given that GEARSPER said that he drew the inspiration for like unlocking his powers from seeing Tatsumaki in action. So whatever training that Tatsumaki can give to GEARSPER, if she was able to make him consistently show the power that he did against Neon, then he would easily be S-class level, because that was like an S-class level feat right there. But it really remains to be seen, because at this moment, he's kind of like a roulette glass cannon. So if Tatsumaki could give him like crazy Esper training, then yeah, he could definitely go to the S-class for sure. So for Blast, we don't know too much about him yet, and it's super difficult to say if he would even see anyone worthy enough to be his disciple. So for now, I'll just swap him out for Saitama. I would say the best disciple for him is definitely Glasses, because Glasses obviously is picking up where Saitama left off, essentially. And just him getting that motivational speech from Saitama has pushed him to gain immense strength. Like, he's jumped so many levels right now. So imagine like if Glasses just traded spaces with Genos, and he just went on the same training regimen that Saitama does every single day, sparred with Saitama, and then Saitama just threw him into the deep end against monsters and forced him to get Zenkai boosts. Or if Saitama was feeling like extra adventurous, he would even give the Zenkai boost to him himself, like beat him within an inch of his life. Saitama is also capable of training if he feels like it. Like we saw in that OVA, like he was training those 3 goofs from the internet. Like he does go into that sensei mode if he feels like it. So I think he would definitely do that for Glasses, considering I already gave him that pep talk. But that's pretty much it for the video today, guys. Once again, I want to thank Paxton D for your incredible patronage. Thank you so much, and I hope this video was good enough for what you wanted. And if you liked it, please give it a like. I also have a Patreon. It gives you access to a weekly Q&A. And if you haven't already, please subscribe as well. Have a great day. I'll see you next one.